Good morning. Good morning. My name is Bill Bestpitch, and I use he, him pronouns. I have the honor of serving as your worship associate this morning. Please take a moment to put your mind, your spirit, and your cell phones in worship mode. The mic's not on? Okay, I'll talk louder. We welcome everyone here and online to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Roanoke this morning. We're so glad you are all here today and hope you choose to stay for fellowship following the service behind the accordion doors there. Let's take a second to turn, stand up if you wish, and connect with everyone watching at home. For those of you online who wish to share your joys and concerns during the Lifelines portion of the service, please put them in the chat in the next 15 minutes. We acknowledge that our church resides on the traditional lands of the Tutelo and Monacan nations and was later farmed and developed through slave labor. We recognize and respect the ongoing connection to this land by generations of Black, Indigenous, and other people of color. May our gratitude and fellowship here echo and honor that rich history. And now please join me in reciting our words of welcome. Whoever you are, whomever you love, however you express your identity, whatever your situation in life, whatever your experience of the holy, as you come seeking love, your presence here is a gift. Whether you are filled with sadness, overflowing with joy, needing to be alone with yourself, or eager to engage with others, all who welcome all are welcome here. And our covenant, we commit to supporting each other with respect and direct communication as we work in community to explore spiritual growth and to be a force for good in the world.
Good morning. So we're still frisky, but we're missing we're missing Catherine, who is in Scotland. She'll be back next month, but Joanne is filling in the alto part. So thank you, Joanne.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Still frisky, even -1, right? Still? Okay. Good morning. I am the Reverend Jen Raffensperger. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I am honored to serve as the minister of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Roanoke. I'm glad to see you on this, it's going to get there, sunny Sunday morning. So basically, this is the opening words, and it is my chance to basically give you 2 readings today. Our opening words are the full, glorious poem Manifesto, the Mad Farmer Liberation Front by Wendell Berry, because I simply couldn't bring myself to cut a single word. It is a beautiful bridge from last Sunday's Easter to Tuesday's Earth Day and on into our continuing conversation on the value of love. So this is Manifesto, the Mad Farmer Liberation Front. Love the quick profit, the annual raise, vacation with pay, want more of everything ready-made, be afraid to know your neighbors and to die, and you will have a window in your head. Not even your future will be a mystery anymore. Your mind will be punched in a card and shut away in a little drawer. When they want you to buy something, they will call you. When they want you to die for profit, they will let you know. So friends, every day, do something that won't compute. Love the Lord. Love the world. Work for nothing. Take all you have and be poor. Love someone who does not deserve it. Denounce the government and embrace the flag. Hope to live in that free republic for which it stands. Give your approval to all you cannot understand. Praise ignorance for what man has not encountered, he has not destroyed. Ask the questions that have no answers. Invest in the millennium. Plant sequoias. Say that your main crop is the forest that you did not plant, that you will not live to harvest. Say that the leaves are harvested when they have rotted into the mold. Call that profit. Prophesy such returns. Put your faith in the 2 inches of humus that will build under the trees every 1,000 years. Listen to carrion, put your ear close and hear the faint chattering of the songs that are to come. Expect the end of the world. Laugh. Laughter is immeasurable. Be joyful though you have considered all the facts. So long as women do not go cheap for power, please women more than men. Ask yourself, will this satisfy a woman satisfied to bear a child? Will this disturb the sleep of a woman near to giving birth? Go with your love to the fields. Lie easy in the shade. Rest your head in her lap. Swear allegiance to what is nighest in your thoughts. As soon as the generals and the politicos can predict the motions of your mind, lose it. Leave it as a sign to mark the false trail, the way you didn't go. Be like the fox who makes more tracks than necessary, some in the wrong direction. Practice resurrection. 1973, Sally assures me this is when that was written. Right around then. Wendell Berry's still with us, bless him. And at this time, I will invite Bill to light our chalice, and I'm going to hand him the matches if they're not out there, because I don't think I lit the candle ahead of time. Nope. Oh, there's some there. Imperfection builds as we spend our time imperfectly and beautifully together. Thank you, Bill, for lighting our chalice, which we join in with Unitarian Universalist churches and congregations around the nation and the world. In lighting this chalice, the flame of our living tradition and the symbol of our faith, which serves as such a beacon of hope. Light we now kindle, inspire us to use our powers to heal and not to harm, to help and not to hinder, to bless and not to curse, to serve you, O Spirit of life. Now I'm changing hats to go over here, and I did this just so we can leave on my microphone all dang day. All right. So, Jesse McEwen, our beloved Director of Lifespan Faith Development, is off helping do worship before Pride in the Park today, which, by the way, we have 18,000 announcements later, but yes, we do have a table at Pride in the Park. So also, if you have a chance this afternoon, head out there. But right now, if anybody of any age really would like to get a little closer here, we're going to hear something from a book, but it's real short. But we're going to talk about something before our kids go upstairs. So if you want to come over here for another tiny poem and a little chat, I could use some help too. We have a little thing to help with today, so. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Now, hello. Hello. Now, I don't know if any of you all are familiar with this book, Where the Sidewalk Ends by Shel Silverstein. Any of the kids familiar with it? Yes. Okay. This hasn't gone completely out of fashion. This is my copy from when I was younger than most of y'all sitting here. But I'm going to read a little poem, but then we're going to have a little visualization because it's going to be real hard for the folks out there to see this picture. But I'm going to read the poem first. It's called Love. Ricky was L, but he's home with the flu. Lizzie, our O, had some homework to do. Mitchell, E, probably got lost on the way, so I'm all of love that could make it today. Here's a little person standing out with a sign on the corner that just says V. Can one of you hold a sign for me? Okay, here. You want to be V. Hold that up. Stand up. Can you stand up and hold it up? So sometimes we want to live our values in the world, but it's kind of hard sometimes to just stand out on a corner with a sign that says V by yourself when you expected your 3 friends to be there. But sometimes what happens when you live your values by acting with love in the world, other people might get inspired to join you. Does anybody feel inspired to join? You can't voluntold someone. Do you mind? You want to be L and stand in an appropriate way? Somebody else want to help? Somebody else want to help? Nobody wants to stand up? I might have to ask an adult. Can somebody else come up here? Bonnie, can you be my O? Here we go, Pam. You be E. And I'm going to stand up so you all can move over and not feel like you're standing in front of me. So here we go. One person showed up with their sign and felt like, oh no, this is a little bit weird. But then the rest of love came along. So I think when we think about public ways of living our love, which is kind of part of what we're talking about today, including holding signs, I think we need to think about, well, when you add one more to one more, you get closer and closer to living that love every day. Thank you all for holding signs, and you can give them back, or you can keep them if you want. Thank you. And we are going to sing our kids up to, wow, except I forget how it starts. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the love of God surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
Our reading this morning is an excerpt from All About Love, New Visions by Bell Hooks. Domination cannot exist in any social situation where a love ethic prevails. Jung's insight that if the will to power is paramount, love will be lacking is important to remember. When love is present, the desire to dominate and exercise power cannot rule the day. All the great social movements for freedom and justice in our society have promoted a love ethic. Concern for the collective good of our nation, city, or neighbor, rooted in the values of love, makes us all seek to nurture and protect that good. If all public policy was created in the spirit of love, we would not have to worry about unemployment, homelessness, schools failing to teach children, or addiction. To live our lives based on the principle of the love ethic, showing care, respect, knowledge, integrity, and the will to cooperate, we have to be courageous. Learning how to face our fears is one way we embrace love. Our fear may not go away, but it will not stand in the way. Those of us who have already chosen to embrace a love ethic, allowing it to govern and inform how we think and act, know that when we let our light shine, we draw to us and are drawn to other bearers of light. We are not alone.
Thank you, Bill. Ricky was L, but he's home with the flu. Lizzie, our O, had some homework to do. Mitchell, E, probably got lost on the way. So I'm all of love that could make it today. I was 8 years old when I attended my first protest in Washington, D.C. The Catholic Church where I was raised sponsored several buses to take parishioners downtown to participate in the annual Right to Life March, held annually still on the anniversary of the Roe v. Wade decision on January 22nd. My mother was planning to attend, and she and my father thought it would be a good learning experience for me, and they were absolutely right. Now, of course, my personal views have changed a great deal since I was 8 years old. But the learning experience wasn't about the content of the protest. It was the fact of the protest. Before I left and after I returned, my parents told me about the right of the people peaceably to assemble and the other rights defined in the First Amendment to the Constitution. I asked questions, and they answered. And overall, my first experience of peaceful protest was a good one. It was a cold January day, but we had a thermos full of cocoa and a bag of sandwiches. I even got to carry a sign. And not for the last time, either. Growing up near Washington, D.C. meant a certain familiarity with the practice of peaceful protest, since they happen there all the time. And when I became a Unitarian Universalist, one of the first things that I personally organized at my home congregation was a group trip into D.C. to join the peaceful protests outside the Supreme Court on the day of oral arguments in the case of Burwell versus Hobby Lobby Stores, Inc. in March of 2014. That little outing actually ended with an extraordinarily brief appearance by me on the NBC Nightly News, which sought to interview one person protesting on each side. They set us up in a nearby pub and even got us drinks after the interview, of course. No matter how it sounds, I promise I remember more than the tasty drinks that I got to have at each of these protests. Cocoa and perhaps a more adult beverage. No. I bring these examples up because this particular way of showing up in the world, coming together with other people who all agree on a particular idea and being vocally and visibly present about it, that's not one that's comfortable for everyone. Nor is it the only way for any of us to choose to live, as Bell Hooks names it, by a love ethic. I'm all of love that could make it today. Arguably, one letter out of the 4 that make up love showing up doesn't actually do all that much to advance the cause of love in the world. But there is more work that is done at a protest than influencing others, or perhaps more rightly put, working and hoping to influence others. There's the internal work of showing up, and there's the fact that you can start and embolden other people, as we saw with our kids this morning, right? To live our lives based on the principles of a love ethic, showing care, respect, knowledge, integrity, and the will to cooperate, we have to be courageous. Learning how to face our fears is one way we embrace love. Our fear may not go away, but it will not stand in the way. Those of us who have already chosen to embrace a love ethic, allowing it to govern and inform how we think and act, know that when we let our light shine, we draw to us and are drawn to other bearers of light. We are not alone. So our little friend within the poem, the one who showed up with their V sign, is living by every single principle of a love ethic that Hooks has defined here. Showing care. The act of choosing to show up with signs spelling out love with their friends does demonstrate active caring. Respect. Now, while it seems that V's friends didn't respect the agreement quite as much as they did, but V certainly held true to it. And knowledge, well, whatever they were demonstrating about, love is powerful on any side of an argument. They knew that this sign might have an impact on others. And as for integrity, V is being very true to themselves. They said they would do it, and even though they're now out there alone, they're doing it. And the will to cooperate. Well, in the example of the poem, that's pretty clear. They wanted to cooperate. But that's the part that breaks my heart the most. Because I feel deeply the absence of this in our society right now. I feel the absence of a love ethic deeply. Care, respect, knowledge, integrity, and the will to cooperate. I know that in the current times, many of you have chosen to participate in protests of many kinds. And I also know that for many of you, this is not a desirable or an easily available avenue for you to choose to live your love ethic. And please understand, this is not a plea to protest. That is only one single facet of the way that we can live our values in the world. This is a plea for you to consider how you can join in living that love ethic. In this ongoing sermon series, of course, we are focusing on the central shared value of love. I'm going to stop holding up the pieces of paper. You get it. Today, I do also want us to think about our shared value of pluralism. As named in the list of central values in Article 2 of the bylaws of the Unitarian Universalist Association of Congregations, we hear this about pluralism. Quote, "We celebrate that we are all sacred beings, diverse in culture, experience, and theology. We covenant to learn from one another in our free and responsible search for truth and meaning. We embrace our differences and commonalities with love, curiosity, and respect." Living our value of pluralism and keeping love at the center is about so much more than the wide variety of faith backgrounds and personal theologies that we are here represented today by each and every one of you. It is about the rich diversity of ideas that we each hold, our willingness to learn from and with one another, even when we might not all agree, a willingness to cooperate. Now, there are many ways to protest. It is not just holding a sign on a corner. There are many ways to peaceably assemble, to petition for a redress of grievances. Ask the questions that have no answers. Invest in the millennium, plant sequoias. Say that your main crop is the forest that you did not plant, that you will not live to harvest. Say that the leaves are harvested when they have rotted into the mold. Call that profit. Prophesy such returns. Put your faith in the 2 inches of humus that will build under the trees every 1,000 years. Listen to carrion. Put your ear close and hear the faint chattering of the songs that are to come. Expect the end of the world. Laugh. Laughter is immeasurable. Be joyful, though you have considered all the facts. Asking questions is a way to protest. Planting trees that will bear fruit you will not live to eat is a way to redress grievances. Listening, laughing, being joyful, though you have considered all the facts. Showing care, respect, knowledge, integrity, and the will to cooperate. Well, poet, essayist, environmentalist, and farmer Wendell Berry is here to remind us that a love ethic should not start nor end with humans alone. There is more to our community, to our society, to our nation than the people within it. When one part of this interdependent web is suffering, it affects all the other parts. When one part of this web is being exploited, ruined for profit, harmed for the gain of others, that affects every part. All the great social movements for freedom and justice in our society have promoted a love ethic. Concern for the collective good of our nation, city, or neighbor, rooted in the values of love, makes us all seek to nurture and protect that good, that collective good. If all public policy was created in the spirit of love, we would not have to worry about unemployment, homelessness, schools failing to teach children, or addiction. To that I would add, we would also not have to worry about environmental ruin, gender or race or ability-based pay gaps or differences in health outcomes, or mass shootings. What if we honestly centered love, a love ethic, at the heart of each policy decision? What if we called for redress when we saw the exact opposite of care, respect, knowledge, integrity, and the will to cooperate dominating our society? After all, quote, when love is present, the desire to dominate and exercise power cannot rule the day. They cannot rule the day. They simply cannot be allowed to continue to rule the day. However you can show up, whatever your protest may be, whether you choose to carry a sign or sing a song or hold a door open for a stranger, whether you choose not to speak in anger when you personally are wronged, but do choose to speak in power when your neighbors are wronged, whether you write a letter or make a phone call or make a casserole or run for office or plant a garden or come to church or tell a story or listen to the stories of others, you can live a love ethic. You can be courageous. Learning how to face our fears is one way we embrace love. You can embrace love in the face of fear. Your courage can grow. You can learn with and from others. You can let your light shine. When we let our light shine, we draw to us and are drawn to others who are bearers of light. We are not alone. May we continue to bear light in this hurting world in whatever way we can. So may it be. During this time of meditation this morning, we're going to just observe some time of silence. So I will ring the bell to begin it and then to close it. We come now to that time in our service every week where we invite you into generosity. The work of this church and the work of living our love ethic in the world is possible only through your gifts of time, talent, and of treasure. The ushers will now gratefully collect the offering.
Ooh, we believe in the power of kindness. Ooh, we believe in the power of love. Ooh, we believe in the power of kindness. Ooh, we believe in the power of love. We don't know what's coming, but we can help shape what's ahead. With kindness as our currency, the commonwealth is in our hands. So give a little, give a little, give a lot, don't stop. A helping hand makes the world go round, there's more than enough. Ooh, we believe in the power of kindness. Ooh, we believe in the power of love, power of love. Ooh, we believe in the power of kindness. Ooh, we believe in the power of love.
Listen up now, people, keep your ear to the ground. We are the river flowing, generosity abound. So
Give a little, give a little, give a lot, don't stop. A helping hand makes the world go round, there's more than enough. Ooh, we believe in the power of kindness. Ooh, we believe in the power of love, power of love. Ooh, we believe in the power of kindness. Ooh, we believe in the power of love. The honeybee serves sweetness only to help the world bloom. Bring love to the flower, from the flower to the fruit, we can learn a thing or two. So give a little, give a little, give a lot, don't stop. A helping hand makes the world go round, there's more than enough. Ooh, we believe in the power of kindness. Ooh, we believe in the power of love, power of love. Ooh, we believe in the power of kindness. Ooh, we believe in the power of love.
Thank you, and thank you for your generosity.
Good morning. My name is Sally Garber, and it's my honor to represent the Caring Committee this morning. As you all know by now, I'm sure, one of the jobs of the Caring Committee is to present the cares and the joys of the congregation every Sunday morning. If you have a joy or a concern that you'd like to share, please take the time to either let a member of the Caring Committee know, call the church office, or write it in the book that you saw me pick up when I came up this morning. This morning, I have one thing I want to call to your attention. A celebration of life will be held for Kathy Overholzer on Friday, May 9th at 11 a.m. A reception will follow the service. Please be sure that's on your calendar. If you would like to light a candle this morning for a joy or a concern that you hold on in your heart, please come forward and use both sides of the altar. Thank you. I'll go that way.
Once you stood below a mountain, now you find yourself surprised. This is the sweet spot of your life, 'cause this new view compares to nothing. Gone the hardship of your climb. This is the sweet spot of your life. And it would seem the ice is melting, seems you've come in from the cold. This is the sweet spot of your life. And all your streams, they are now fuller than what their river banks can hold. This is the sweet spot of your life. So you must hold these days like treasures in the jewel box in your heart. This is the sweet spot of your life. But you know well they are most precious. Into an old tree you must carve them. This is the sweet spot of your life. May it only sting a moment when you dive into that blue. This is the sweet spot of your life. 'Cause by the time you hit the surface, it has rearranged you. This is the sweet spot of your life. You always wanted something solid, just one solid thing. Oh, but angels are so fickle, they only love you when you sing. But you don't need those fickle angels to shine. This is the sweet spot of your life. Once you stood below a mountain, now you find yourself surprised. This is the sweet spot of your life. 'Cause this new view compares to nothing. Gone the hardship of your climb. This is the sweet spot of your life. May it only sting a moment when you dive into that blue. This is the sweet spot of your life. 'Cause by the time you hit the surface, it has rearranged you. This is the sweet spot. This is the sweet spot. This is the sweet spot of your life.
Last week I commented that I never know what to light an extra candle for, and this week I also have too many to choose from, so I'm not choosing. I have 3 candles here that have already been lit. Somebody enthused to me, ooh, it's a brand new one. Well, we try and go through new and old each week. I've been thinking a lot about things that are done in our name. And this week I thought about and heard reports about 3 areas of conflict in the world that gave me great pause. I light this candle for the people of Ukraine to keep us mindful of the reality when we make a promise that to live by a love ethic, we should keep it. I light this candle for the people of Gaza because when we do not hold our friends accountable and do not control what is being done in our name, we become complicit in the outright destruction of a people, which we also name genocide. And I light this candle for the people of Sudan. For all that happens when we aren't even looking, and all the people we choose to give our attention to and not. Khartoum has been almost completely destroyed. And in the face of all that, I light a candle also this week in memory of Pope Francis. As a former Catholic myself, I have struggled with this role in the world, but Francis showed us in many ways, though I do not agree with him on all theological points, let me be clear, but showed us in many ways the reality of living with, lifting up the oppressed, the marginalized, those most made to suffer. He chose to be buried in a neighborhood that is not smack in the middle of the Vatican, and so we lost a leader of integrity in the world this week. And as I do each week, I will light this final candle for everyone who's joining us on YouTube this week, or who may be watching this later. Though you are not here in body, your spirit is with us, and we consider all that you are holding in your hearts. So if you'll join me in a time of prayer and reflection, settle yourself into your seat, bow your head, close your eyes if that's comfortable for you, or soften your gaze. Spirit of life, we recognize that while we are on our own journeys, searching for that truth and that meaning that can feel elusive to us in times of tumult and change particularly, remind us that that journey, any journey, is made easier to bear with the help of others. Perhaps no one can carry our exact burden, our exact combination of things that weigh on us, that lift us up, but we can hear, witness, see, and sit and be with others who have different struggles, our samenesses and our commonalities. Once we acknowledge that we are part of that larger interdependent web, that web means people and places and non-human beings and all those near us that we claim relationship with, if we also felt responsibility and shared joy with all of those people, what would that be like? So as we dream of a future way of being, we also acknowledge all the pain that resides in the world right now and pledge within our hearts to show up in the ways that we can when we can. So may it be.
And now, as we draw close to the end of our time together in worship this week, we turn our attention from within our own community and our joys and concerns, and we prepare to engage with the world in the week ahead. We'll begin with a few announcements. Today is a very busy day. Speaking of holding up signs, first of all, you're invited to join our climate justice team outside at 12:15 to participate in the monthly Climate Justice Rally. They have all the signs ready to go. Meet on the corner of Brandon and Grandin. The Roanoke Speaks open mic is happening here at the church today from 3 until 5 or so. Come and enjoy each person's 5 minutes of creativity, including yours. All donations go to further our outreach into the community. We are making one final spring push for donors to support our WVTF sponsorship. Please see Dotsie Clifton. She's here. Oh, here she is, way back over here. Dotsie Clifton, if you can help. And there's more information in this week's email update. And we're still accepting donations for our Ram House special collection through April 30. Next Sunday, May the 4th, there will be a concert in our fellowship hall at 3 p.m. Kevin Matheson will present the Beethoven and Brahms violin concertos in one concert. Our own music director, Carrie Mogravich, will accompany him. As it will be May the 4th, you may hear some music from Star Wars. There will be more information in the weekly newsletter. And I invite Bob Egbert to come at this time to share more about our capital campaign.
Good morning. First, I need to explain why I'm here. I've been a member here for a long time, and I've done various jobs, volunteer jobs here, but one stands out in my mind more than most of the rest. A while back, we did a program, the Green Team did a program in partnership with Sierra Club, and it was called Earth Friendly Fridays. And it was a community environmental education program on Friday evenings. Anyway, it usually ended about 8, and I was the last one out, and I cleaned up, was the person cleaning up, straightening up after everything was done. So I'd put away all the stuff, the AV equipment, and go around, shut out all the lights. And after I was sure that everyone had left and everything needed to be done, I'd come in here and shut out the lights, and I would sit in one of these chairs for a few minutes, especially if it had been a particularly hard day, because I was working for most of that time, in addition to here. And it would be dark, and I would sit down for a few minutes, and I would feel the church, my home. And it would feel sort of like a warm, soft blanket, and it would calm me down, and I would feel peace. So this is my home. And this building and myself are about the same age, and we both need work. We need help. So a little while ago, when I was asked if I would help and be the chair of one of the co-chairs of the pledge campaign, I didn't hesitate for very long. And I said yes. So Basically, what I want to say this morning is I'm asking you that when you are asked for help, that you will also say yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. You will hear more and more and more about the capital campaign in the coming weeks, and we are grateful for everyone who has already said yes to visits, yes to helping, yes to the love ethic that asks us to support. All the beautiful ideas in the world are a little hard to coalesce around if we don't have a safe place to sit on a Sunday morning. So please, your attention and time for that is important as well. And so now, you all thought you were going to get out here early. Nope. We timed it this way because we needed to have Bob share that beautiful reflection with us. And I am honored this morning, not for no reason do I talk about justice. Well, we talk about justice a lot of weeks, if I'm honest. But this week in particular, I am very honored to ask Ray Higgins Jr., the lead organizer of Roanoke Justice Ministries, to tell us a little bit about that organization and what Roanoke Justice, this is a new exciting time for Roanoke Justice Ministries. You've heard me talk about some individual actions and some things that the clergy, sort of the leadership as we begin to invite more and more people to do this, talk about exactly what we were already talking about today. How do we use that knowledge, kindness, insight, will to cooperate to work for change in our world? And so I'm very honored to have Ray Higgins here this morning, and he'll also be available after service in the fellowship hall. But Ray, it's all you. Thank you.
I can't tell you what a joy it is to worship with you this morning. Very, very refreshing, and it was especially nice, the candle lighting by Reverend Jen on the various conflicts around the world, which weigh on all of us. The work I do is a little more local. It's in the Roanoke Valley. I do consider it to be a love ethic. We are 12 congregations growing that work to end racism and poverty in Roanoke. We're about half African American congregations and half white congregations. We're Catholic, we're Protestant, we're Unitarian. We cover the spectrum. What I do is help individuals in congregations and pastors come together through relationship building so that together we can do more at a level that is citywide and valley-wide when it comes to justice. I've been meeting with pastors for the last couple of years, and I was thrilled to be approached by Reverend Kirk Ballin last summer about possibly doing some community organizing here at the Unitarian Church. And he said, but we got a new minister coming, so you got to wait. And so, you always pause with that. Well, I don't know if it's going to. When Reverend Jen arrived, she took RJM by storm. She has been at every clergy caucus. She spoke at our prayer service to end gun violence in October of 24. She was part of our leadership team for the Martin Luther King Day service that we have. And as she mentioned, where we're at in RGM is we've got the pastors together, but the pastors can only do so much. The laity need to come in behind them and help us organize each congregation. So I'm doing visits in congregations around the city to sort of introduce and build relationships, to learn and to listen. And you may be getting an email from Reverend Jen or myself, and I would ask that if you have 30 minutes, that's about it, about 30 minutes, to share with me from your experience of this church, what this church represents, what you would like to see this church doing in the community. UUs have always been about justice. And UUs have been at the forefront of every single social movement for change this country's ever seen. We do that, we take that same ethic and apply it locally. I've been doing this work for a while. I was with another organization that worked with Mr. Bestpitch 25 years ago, and I'm doing it again. On the side, I'm an associate professor of English at Virginia Western Community College. But I will be probably leaving that position come fall because we've been able to raise about $80,000 to launch our organization. And so I'll be able to go from 20 hours to full time. So it's a lot of fun. I think you'll enjoy, if you get the email from me, it'll be about you. This is not a hard sell. This is about building relationships so that I can learn and listen to you. And if you decide to come to one meeting a year, we have these things called Nehemiah Actions. They're a large gathering of people with a set pre-negotiated agenda with civic decision makers. And we put them on the spot. Bill's been put on the spot before with me to make a commitment to change for social justice for the poor. We're going to be having one in 1 year. We're hoping for 500 people. And we encourage our pastors to try to turn out their average worship attendance, AWA. That's how we get to 500. And in that meeting, we'll be setting forth an agenda grounded in the relationships that exist at the foundation of the organization. We do a needs assessment in the fall. We have 25 house meetings throughout the city for people to come and share about their concerns. From that consensus, a consensus grows out of that, of what we want to address. We research it, we plan it, and then we turn out our people to sort of demonstrate the strength behind it of 500 people. And it's a powerful thing. Our sister project in Richmond turned out 2,200 people this past March. Our sister project in Charlottesville turned out 1,200 people, and they won $10 million for affordable housing. And so we're not like neighborhood groups or small groups. We're pushing higher and for more resources and at a citywide and a valley-wide level. And so it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it very, very much, and I hope you'll join us. Thank you.
I'm like reminding myself where I am in the script. I was so caught up in what you're saying, Ray, that I lost track of where I was. Thank you, Ray. And I can attest that when you have a one-on-one meeting with Ray, Ray is really just concerned about what are you thinking about? What are you concerned about? What do you need? What do you need? What's important to you right now? He's a great guy. This is a great chance for if standing on a street corner with a sign isn't necessarily your cup of tea, this is another way for you to live a love ethic in the Roanoke Valley. And this is based on an organizing principles of Saul Alinsky. This is DART. We're part of a larger organization which also helps support us. And I wrote in our April newsletter about there's a UU minister in Crozet who works with the DART organization Impact Seville in Charlottesville that turned out those 1,200 for affordable housing last year. So this organizing model can be really effective. And so if you have any curiosity at all, I highly recommend that you check in with Ray after service. And now I will invite Bill to extinguish our chalice as we do in Unitarian Universalist churches and congregations across the nation and the world, each week knowing that though the chalice within our sanctuary may not be lit, we know that the fire of our faith burns within, and that when we shine it in the world, we are drawn to and draw to us others who are shining their light.
So this is our last song is called Crossing the Water. It's by Bill Stain. Some of you might know he's an old folkie from the 70s. We've got the chorus kind of printed on, so if you feel moved to sing with us the chorus, go for it. One, two, three, four.
We are crossing the water, our home of the blackest night.
There is no shallow water that not but love to keep us safely from the dangers and the devil of the deep. Yet with every breath within us we look forevermore to find some peaceful harbor on some far-off shore. We are crossing the water our whole life through. We are making a passage that is straight and true. Every heart is a vessel, every dream is a light shining through the darkness of the blackest night. For some it is the glory, for some it is the game, for some it is the story filled with emptiness and pain. But with rising winds in chorus, we search for steady ground. There's only that light for us, there can be no turning round. We are crossing the water our whole life through. We are making a passage that is straight and true. Every heart is a vessel, every dream is a light shining through the darkness of the blackest night. Last verse. There is no other journey that'll ever be the same. No second chance horizon that will call you by name. So when the wailing winds rush over you and the stormy winds they drive, give your heart a song, sing it loud and long, keep your dreams alive. We are crossing the water our whole life through. We are making a passage that is straight and true. Every heart is a vessel, every dream is a light shining through the darkness of the blackest night, shining through the darkness of the blackest night.
Thank you, Still Frisky, who are still frisky, even though we're 2/3 of. Anyway, I already made that joke. Thank you all this week for shining your lights here in your hearts and rekindling them to take into the world this week. Go in peace. Amen.